Check it out. It's the Retro Recast.
All right, we're here for another edition of the Retro Recast, brought to you by Nostalgia Mania and JSE Studios. We're going to recast the cast of Beetlejuice. Who would you cast in each of these four roles? Beetlejuice, Lydia, Adam, Barbara, if the movie was made today in 2025. Bonus points, obviously, if you don't use anybody from the remake of Beetlejuice or Beetlejuice number 2, right? We're gonna remake Beetlejuice today as if we're making it for the very first time as it was in 1988. So, with that being said, like I promoted earlier, we have a ton of entries this week. If you want to be entered and have your image shown on screen here, comment on our social media pages when we promote the Retro Recast and tell us your picks. And your image could pop up here on the screen, and we can read off your screen name, your name, however you want to do it, and we will show your Retro Recast among everybody else's here that is submitting theirs. So with that being said, we're going to start off with everybody's submissions, and then we'll go to Brian and my recast. So without further ado, let's jump right into the recast. Before we do that, let's jump to the chat here. Autumn, my favorite quote is when Alec Baldwin's character asks Beetlejuice for his qualifications, and he says, well, I attended Juilliard. I probably said that wrong. I lived through the Black Plague. I've seen The Exorcist 167 times, and it keeps getting funnier every single time. Oh, man. Classic. All right, let's see what this recast is all about. Let's jump right into the very first one. And we're going with Jason Wallace, the former co-host of Nostalgia Mania. And there is his recast. His recast for Beetlejuice is Bill Hader. I love that choice. Bill Hader as Beetlejuice. Great choice. Lydia, he picked Jenna Ortega. Adam, he picked Jake Gyllenhaal. And Barbara is Ricky Lindholm. What do we think of old Jason's recast? There we go. Bill Hader would be a pretty good. Autumn agrees. Look at that. Jamie Arthur's in the house. I like it. Jamie, if you can get your retro recast in really quick, you want to bring your picks up on the screen. I know it's last second, but there we go. That is Jason's picks for his retro recast. Let's jump to the next one. We will go to Megan. This is my wife's picks. She picked Evan Peters for Beetlejuice. Jenna Ortega as Lydia. So Jenna Ortega is a popular choice for Lydia. That's the second time we've seen her pop up. Josh Hutcherson as Adam. And Mila Kunis as Barbara. So that is Megan's retro recast. Autumn loves Josh Hutcherson. Yes, so does Alyssa. So both are digging Megan's recast. All right, jumping into the next one. Jennifer. She also picked Bill Hader for Beetlejuice. Look at that. Bill Hader popping up twice. Ariana Greenblatt is playing Lydia. Sam Claflin. Probably said his last name incorrectly. Sam is playing Adam, and Elizabeth Olsen is Barbara. What do we think of Jennifer's recast? Bill Hader, Ariana Greenblatt, Sam Claflin, and Elizabeth Olsen. I like it. Again, I've already said I love Bill Hader's as Beetlejuice. And Elizabeth Olsen would definitely be a good Barbara, in my opinion. I like Elizabeth Olsen from Marvel. So, and the chat agrees. Elizabeth Olsen. Sam. All right. Nicely done. Moving on. Mrs. J, Brian J's wife, submitted her picks. She is picking Tom Hiddleston as Beetlejuice, Rowan Blanchard as Lydia, John Krasinski as Adam, and Emily Blunt as Barbara. Picking the power couple to play Adam and Barbara with John Krasinski and Emily Blunt. I like that pick. John Krasinski I picked last week. So had I not done John Krasinski last week, I probably would have picked him this week. But I want to not pick the same person 2 weeks in a row. But big fan of John Krasinski in this pick. So Alyssa agrees. Didn't even think of Rowan. Great pick. Great pick. Alyssa, also Sam and John and Emily. Good stuff. Great recast by Mrs. J. Moving on to Alyssa, who is here live in the chat. Picking Jim Carrey as Beetlejuice. Charlotte LeBon as Lydia. Lewis Pullman as Adam. And Emma Corrin as Barbara. And you already know my feelings. Love Jim Carrey. He can pull off those facial expressions like it's nobody's business. I picked him last week for Pennywise. I think he would play fantastic from facial expressions alone. Would play a great Beetlejuice. So, phenomenal pick. And Autumn agrees. Pretty good cast. Pretty good cast. I like it. Broderick Hall, who was in the chat earlier, not sure if he's still here, also picked Jim Carrey as Beetlejuice. So that is a popular choice. Maisie Williams as Lydia. Went with Rick Moranis as Adam and Jennifer Coolidge as Barbara. He definitely went an older version of Adam and Barbara than the original cast. But hey, everybody has their own recast. I think Rick Moranis is a great pick. I like Rick Moranis. Even though he's been out of the spotlight for years, taking care of his kid, he is back. He is acting and would play a damn good Adam. And I've already said my piece on Jim Carrey. Let's take a look at the chat. Broderick is here. Look at that. He is still here. I'm still proud of Lewis Pullman. I love Lewis Pullman's pick too. I downplayed that. I'm sorry, but it was definitely a good pick. Maisie Williams might be pretty good. Yes. So we'll go to Autumn's picks. And I think this is the final one before we jump into Brian and our picks. Autumn went with Johnny Depp to play Beetlejuice, Emma Myers to play Lydia, Ben Barnes to play Adam, and Emma Stone to play Barbara. And my personal opinion, I think Emma Myers might be my favorite pick for Lydia so far, in my opinion. Big fan of Emma Myers. Obviously, I've seen her a lot, basically because I've seen the Minecraft movie 25,000 times. But I think she'd be a great Lydia. Also, Johnny Depp, man. That's an underrated pick. Underrated. Spaceballs 2, baby. Broderick Hall. Sorry, I said the wrong name. Captain Jack Sparrow, but Beetlejuice vibes. 100%. 100%. Emma's good for Lydia. Yes, Alyssa agrees. All right. And you're right. Yes, he does love Tim Burton does love Johnny Depp. He was Edward Scissorhands. So all right, so we are down to Brian and I's recast. I really wish Brian J was here to talk about his recast. But nonetheless, we're going to go ahead and show it here tonight. We'll go his first. And he's going with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson to play Beetlejuice. So very dynamic role for old Dwayne to play. Maya Hawke to play Lydia. Ryan Gosling is Adam, and Jennifer Love Hewitt to play Barbara. What does the chat think of Dwayne Johnson as Beetlejuice? Autumn says The Rock definitely threw me for a loop. It's very, like I said, it's a very different role than we're used to seeing him play. But could he pull it off? possibly. He's bald. He needs a he'll definitely need a wig or something wild on his head. But yeah, my Hawk pick I think is a good one too for Lydia, in my opinion. Yep, Alyssa agrees too. My Hawk. All right. And then my recast, we'll pull mine up right now. We're going Joseph Gordon-Levitt as Beetlejuice. Another kind of a crazier pick, but he's kind of had a similar role recently, so I think he'd play a good Beetlejuice. I went with Millie Bobby Brown as Lydia. Adam Scott playing Adam, not because they have the same name, just because I think he'd play the part well. And then Allison Brie to play Barbara. What do we think about Josh's recast? I said I'm a fan of it. Obviously, I'm the one that did it. It's hard to beat any of these picks that you all put in the chat. It was great. So Alyssa says your whole recast is good, Josh. Appreciate it. I could have went Joseph Gordon-Levitt for Adam too. So like he could have played both roles, but I went ahead and went with him with Beetlejuice, and then went Adam Scott. So there you have it. Retro recast. I'm going to post everybody's picks on our social media over the next couple of days, and I'm going to let people view it, see who they think has the best cast or the better cast, and we'll see what happens. So appreciate everybody for participating. I will try to do that each and every week and put your pictures up there as well. I think it makes it more fun, more interactive, rather than us just reading off the names. You can actually visually see it.